Hi guys. So I know that we've already talked in class and that we are not doing about unit 9.5 and that we're not doing the ready part of the homework. So here we go. We're going to talk about what we're doing in part of the ready section. So here we go. So we have it in Cornell note form because that's what we want to start doing, is taking our notes in Cornell note form. So in case you don't know what that is, you need to draw a line 2/3 of the way over your paper down the length of your paper. So the first thing we're going to do is define factorial and what factorial is. So the symbol for factorial, you can see here, is just an exclamation mark. That's it. That means factorial. The definition of factorial, what it means is to multiply a series of descending natural numbers. A series of descending natural numbers. Okay, that's the definition of factorial. An example would be, if I have 5 factorial, that means 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Remember, the natural numbers do not include 0, so we don't go to 0. And then you just multiply, so it's the product. 5 times 4 is 20, times 3 is 60, times 2 is 120, times 1 is 120. So that would be 5 factorial. Okay? So the next thing we'll have to do is we might have to evaluate some expressions. So we have 9 factorial divided by 4 factorial times 4 factorial. So I'm just going to write it out. 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4. And I'm going to stop there, times 4 factorial. Why? Because I have a 4 factorial, at least one, already in my denominator. And then I have 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 times 4 factorial. Well, as we know, it's 4 factorial over 4 factorial. That equals 1. So I don't have to figure out what that is. And then I'm going to multiply and divide. So let's see what I can do to make this a little simpler. 4 goes into 4 once and into 8 2 times. And 3 goes into 3 once and into 6 2 times. 2 goes into 2 once and into 2 1 time. So we have it a little bit simpler here. So let's see what we've got. We've got 9 times 2 times 7 times 1 times 5. So 7 times 9 is 63, times 10 would equal 630. So that would be my answer. Okay? Very simple. Go ahead and work that out. And then we're going to go on and define a few more things here. The last thing we're going to talk about, I know you already have some notes, so the last thing we're going to talk about is a permutation. And there's a couple different ways to notate a permutation. One of those ways is P n comma r. Okay. Another way is the little n up here, a big P for permutation, and an R. And then the one that you see the most really is NPR. And that's the one you'll find in your calculators, NPR. And then what you need to know is, what do those mean? P is permutation. N is the number of things. Let's go ahead and actually define permutation first. So permutation is all possible arrangements of a collection of things. Collection of things where order is important. Where order is important. Okay, so order is important here. And then we want to just define the things in our in our notation. So n is the number of things to choose from. And we choose R of them. Okay, so there we go. So n is the number of things to choose from, and we choose R of them. That's what this means. N is the number of things we choose from, R is the number of things we want. Okay? We choose R of those things. Okay. So let's just kind of do, we're going to do just, there's story problems that you can do with this, like if a word has 5 letters and you can choose 3 of them, how many different ways can you choose them? Okay, so that's but that's already given in the notes that you have to read and take up, so we're not going to do one like that. We're just going to do just a standard example for you guys, okay? And I'm going to do P, and I'm going to choose, I'm going to say I have 12 things to choose from, and I want to choose 7 of them. There we go. So there is a nice little formula to do it from, and it is the number of things I choose from factorial divided by the number of things I choose for minus the number of things I want, and that factorial. So to do this, I'm going to do 12 factorial over 12 minus 7 factorial, and then we're just going to solve it. So I've got 12 factorial over, what is 12 minus 7? 5 factorial. Okay? So I've got 12 times 11 times 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 factorial, all over 5 factorial. So that makes a 1. You multiply all that together, and I want you guys to bring me the answer. Okay? All right, awesome. Question of the day. Okay, what is the difference between permutations and combinations? So we've talked about permutations. You kind of know what it is. If you need to, look up the definition of it. It'll give you a good, I'm going to put a link on Canvas as a good place to find definitions, and it gives good definitions. And so you can look up there what the definitions of permutation and combination are. And then how do you find a combination? So the question is, what is the difference between a permutation and a combination, and how is a combination found? Okay, so that ends today's little lesson. Remember, you have to do this new ready section that I gave you with the little notes, and then the set and go portion for 9.5. Thank you, and have a great night.